Welcome to Inside OTHM, the podcast where we go behind the scenes, inside the ideas, and into the impact shaping OTHM today. This is Inside OTHM. In today's beauty industry, where treatments are advertised everywhere online and anyone can offer services, how can clients really tell the difference between someone who is self-taught and someone who is professionally trained? Welcome back to the Inside OTHM podcast, and on today's episode, we'll be exploring the importance of professionalism, skill, and education in modern beauty therapy. This podcast is especially relevant for learners, educators, and training centres delivering or considering the OTHM Level 3 Diploma in Beauty Therapy, a qualification designed to build strong foundations in both practical skills and professional knowledge. With the rapid growth of the beauty industry and increased demand for safe, qualified practitioners, today's discussion looks at why training and recognised qualifications matter more than ever. Joining us today is a very special guest. We have Amy Martin, a qualified beauty professional with experience in client care. Amy, welcome to the podcast.
No, thank you, Tom, and thank you for having me on the podcast today.
So could you maybe just start off by maybe just telling us a little bit more about what inspires you to pursue a career in beauty therapy?
So my journey started on my level 2 beauty qualification course. I then went on to do my level 3 because I enjoyed it so much, and you do a bit of different things in your level 3 to your level 2. It has more knowledge on your massage or electrical side of treatments, over just your brows and your normal manicures. The whole reason why I got into beauty was because I've always had a passion with making people feel confident and comfortable within themselves. And I felt like this career was such a good way of me being able to do that for everyone out there, not just women, men too as well. Because, everyone deserves a bit of self-pampering and self-love all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
And one of the reasons that I had an experience which I want to share. So I had an experience. I was going on holiday when I was younger. I must have been in high school, young years. And I had my eyebrows done, and a chunk of my eyebrow got taken off with my brow. And it was then, and the therapist didn't say anything to me, and I left the salon and didn't know, if that makes sense. And then I got home and I thought, why has no one mentioned this? How has this happened?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, this is one of the reasons why I want to go into beauty, so I can be able to give people the treatments that they deserve.
Yeah.
And be able to fully explain everything that's happening during the treatment, being confident to do the treatment and to perform the treatment on the client. So yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I got into beauty, really, and to help people feel good about themselves.
No, that's really amazing. And, our kind of qualification kind of touches on those elements as well. But for you, why is it so important that these qualifications that are actually providing, professionalism in that, what was it that helped you build your confidence and career with that?
It's so that it doesn't only teach you how to complete the service to a high standard, but it also gives you lots and lots of confidence within handling clients, different things that can affect a treatment. So how you'd have to then rectify the treatment. So you might have to change it for certain clients, which you wouldn't know if you didn't have your full qualification and knowledge within the industry and the sector that you're focusing on, really. And I felt like it's not only so you can tell your clients that you've done your full qualifications, you are also so knowledgeable compared to people who are self-taught, because you can get you can be faced with things that, as being if you were self-taught, you wouldn't know how to deal with and handle the situations.
Yeah.
Also professional conduct, how to treat and how to be with your client.
Mhm.
In a salon, if it's a very busy, very friendly atmosphere, your clients want to be able to conversate with you and know that that isn't going anywhere else, and
Mhm.
that it is just between you and the client. So it's like what's said in the salon stays in the salon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in terms of that, what is it that's, why being qualified, why is it so important in today's beauty industry?
There are so many people that are doing beauty and do work in salons that haven't necessarily got their full qualifications. With if you're going for a job and you're with someone who's, let's say, done just a week's course doing one thing, so let's say eyebrows, you are most likely going to get picked over the person who has not got the full qualification, because they know that you know how to conduct yourself, you know about safe and hygiene regulations, you know all the ins and outs of the theory side of things, which people would know if they've not done their full qualification.
You kind of touched upon a lot of the how to qualifications help demonstrate the professionalism and credibility. But, when what are some of the risks that people could face if if they haven't received proper training?
So you can, one, lead yourself to overexposure to the products that you're using if you don't know how to handle them properly. You can cause risk to your clients.
Hmm.
You can cause issues within the future to yourself and your client, not necessarily just on that treatment, on the day of the treatment. You can end up leading with, injuries for myself. So it was a very important thing on how to sit. And, you have to, your posture needs to be
Hmm.
perfect, because you can cause problems for yourself, and then you want to be carrying on doing the job for years to come. You don't want to have to stop due to medical reasons or muscle bone problems that you can end up gaining through that from not doing the
Right.
treatments properly
Yeah.
for you and your client. Um, Also, if you don't have your full qualifications, the likelihood for you for an insurance to have your back if you need it is very, very slim.
Yeah.
Um, things can go wrong, happens to the best of people. If you haven't got your full qualifications and you are paying for your insurance, they might turn around when the time comes and say they aren't qualifications, and they don't stand on anything really. And then with that as well, when you're doing the treatments for the clients, you can charge a certain price because of your skills and abilities that you've learned and picked up over your training.
Yeah. So it's very much a kind of a skills and competence thing that the qualifications can offer individuals in the beauty industry, right? So
Yes,
in terms
and
of
mounds of confidence too.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah, there's more to the actual kind of understanding of what the qualification can offer, not just only through the actual technical elements, but also, as you say, the kind of client care elements as well, and the competency of that as well.
So
So you kind of talked about what that actually means in terms of competency. What does being a competent beauty therapist mean beyond simply performing treatments?
So it means that you can pretty much turn your hand to anything. So you will be obviously confident to do the treatment, and you will also know how to provide that treatment to a high standard, for the client, for them to gain what they really need to gain out of the treatment for that day,
Mm,
and for the future. It gives you a well-known understanding and knowledge of the body, the anatomy, the skin, how things work, how your hair works on your face and your body. Obviously, we don't do detail into hairdressing or hair or anything like that. It is just beauty, but you do have a complete understanding of the anatomy of the body as well.
so there's a really big importance around, understanding the theory, the science, and the health and safety principles behind each treatment as well. Again, which is our
Yeah.
qualification does talk about as well. Going on to kind of looking at the professional skills, are they just as important as the technical ability as well? You kind of touched upon that as well. But from if there's anything else you got to add to that in terms of the consultation skill or anything like that?
Yes, consultations are highly, highly important for every client. You can see them as often as you want, but you still want to be doing that consultation before you start carrying out the treatment. A lot of the cases, and I find it in a lot of salons, they don't do consultations, and this could be because of, one, it could be time that they don't put out enough time for it, or because they actually don't have a consultation form and they don't know the importance around having consultations.
Mhm.
It gives you a deeper understanding of your client's lifestyle, what they get up to, how they would prefer things. So like you might, they might come in and say, "Oh, I'm thinking of getting a certain treatment," and you'd say, "Well, actually, because of the lifestyle and because of A, B, C, D, E reasons, I feel like you would benefit a lot more through treatment 2 rather than treatment 1." Um, which you wouldn't have that knowledge and understanding if you didn't do your full qualifications within beauty. And it also gives your clients a lot more confidence in your ability, knowing that you are trained properly and you have full knowledge of the treatments that you are completing. And this isn't just being a day course. You get multiple case studies that you have to be completing through your qualifications. And I'm sure it's the complete same with OTHM, on the sense of you have to be able to complete the treatment on a number of different clients
Sure.
to gain the qualification. So gives you confidence knowing that not everything's perfect for one person as well.
hmm It's really looking at, how these qualifications can help prepare learners for real world client scenarios or interactions.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and
Absolutely.
moving into the industry really, and being confident within yourself and your skills that you've gained.
hmm
I know that no training is free, obviously, unless you're straight out of high school, which then do it straight away. Whilst it's there, it's given to you on a silver platter. You may as well go and do it, rather than doing these weekday courses that don't stand really for anything. Yeah, you can leave and you'll know how to do a set of eyebrows on that client you've brought in that day
hmm
as your model and as your case study. But when you're faced with different people that you don't know and they are from the public, they're not your friends, they're not your family, you end up sitting there and you're so nervous, and it really throws your confidence. And that's what's
Yeah.
really affecting the industry as well. It is, the confidence within therapists on feeling that, yeah, I can turn my hand to anything. And I do find a lot of the people that have got their full qualifications, their confidence is up here compared to not obviously being able to have achieved that qualification.
Absolutely. And I think it's like, these kinds of qualifications, like especially the OTHM level 3, it's all about the foundations of building up on that kind of experience, and that confidence is really that this is the starting point of that journey is essentially. So you kind of talked a little bit about the comparison between short courses and obviously longer form programs as well, like the OTHM level 3 diploma. How do qualifications like this help learners develop the skills and knowledge employers are looking for?
So they can see what type of qualification you've done. So, like OTHM, it's globally recognized. So you can go anywhere and work with your qualification, and you'll know how to conduct yourself within a salon, because they don't just teach you how to do the treatment, they
Mhm.
teach you all the things around the industry as well. So where things have originated from, just having that knowledge to share with your employer or your client really gives them that better understanding of, right, I have a lot of trust in you
Mm.
as their therapist. Um, and you will also find that employers are now looking more so for people who are fully qualified, because you find that if you haven't, you're not that you won't, because there will be some people that are, but you might end up comparing yourself to
Mm.
people who have been in the industry and have got their full qualifications on the competent side of things, knowing how to handle yourself in situations, um, how to speak to your client. So you can't just say something off the bat. You need to, how you word it has to
Yeah.
be right. So, we can't diagnose anything legally. So if you know that your client has got an issue that you physically can't then continue with the treatment, or to start the treatment as such, you can advise that client safely and the way that you are meant to, that still covers you under insurance, and them having full confidence, and the salon knowing that you are competent to be able to do that without someone being there with you all the time.
Yeah. It just gives them that skill set of understanding and maybe acknowledging things to help support the safety of their clients as well, right? So
Yes,
having that kind of
exactly.
knowledge and understanding, it gives them that confidence to be able to, as you say, communicate with the client to say, here's some advice from my understanding of that. Um,
Yes.
so I kind of also wanted to talk about the qualification that we're offering as well is also Habia endorsed. From your experience and understanding of Habia, could you just talk for a little bit about Habia and maybe explain why that's also a really important thing to be recognized as well?
So Habia is outstanding. So they work alongside awarding bodies to make sure that the regulations are up here. Their standards are so high with Habia. Me personally, if I seen a qualification or a training course that is not recognised by Habia, I wouldn't touch it. I just wouldn't. So because you don't know, anyone can sell anything these days,
Mm,
and Habia is so well known within the industry to have regulations and make sure set things are in place and that you have to be learning in a certain way to create that the perfect therapist as such.
mhm.
Um, Without Habia, I feel like the you can find that the industry probably wouldn't be the way it is today. In the sense of they're always looking out in the industry to make sure things are getting done properly, and that they're always maintaining a high standard of learning and completing treatments for salons. I recommend all qualifications that are Habia recognised and endorsed.
So really, being Habia endorsed really just gives learners that confidence in the qualification, as you said there. So that's really great, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um, How can qualifications like this also support progression into employment, self-employment, or further study as well?
So qualifications so your level 3 beauty qualification, so you're not just learning one treatment, so you have an array of services that you can offer to your client. So it's not, you can only just come for one thing. You can come, you know, to that therapist for a number of different treatments. Um, and then you will find that that will help you gaining a job through after you've completed your qualifications, even being self-employed. You'll find that it'll help you it broadens the aspects of how many clients you can get in.
Mm,
And a salon will always look for someone with a full qualification over just being able to do 3 treatments that they offer. And you also feel a lot more confident. So let's say you did want to go down the self-employment route, you feel a lot more confident being on your own doing it, not having to be under an umbrella of a salon.
mhm,
Um, in the sense of that you don't need to be asking someone, is this right?
mm,
Is this how we do it? Because you know yourself how you've been trained that this is how you are meant to do it. Um, you may find as well that if you go in to salons and there are people like, there are staff there that don't necessarily have their full qualification, you end up sharing your knowledge with people, which will then elevate the salon. So they'll look for someone with a full qualification over anyone first.
mm,
But it's quite difficult these days to find someone who has done the full qualification as such, because there are so many of these accredited courses out there. And people do, you think it's the easy way, but in the long term effects of things, it's more difficult for you, because then you keep having to go over and go back on everything on the things that you've learned in that week. And then you'll find yourself, you actually then wanting to go and do more accredited qualifications, because you find that your knowledge isn't to the extent that you want it to be. Like, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So the amount of knowledge that you get fed to you through your full qualification, and with it being Habia recognised as well, is not going to be the knowledge that you are going to get fed through an accredited course. Um, there are some accredited courses that they're not even qualified teachers. And then you think, how is someone meant to learn and go out into the industry feeling confident and being able to complete the treatments to a high standard would be very, very slim.
Yeah. And this feeds into our next topic really nicely. So, talking about the industry and career development, what are employers actually looking for now when hiring beauty therapists today? What kind of the skills are they looking for?
They're looking for people who can handle themselves within a salon without having to be told how to handle themselves in a salon. So, when you've just come out of college, you are in a salon environment in the doing your qualification rather than being in a spare room or within a salon just learning how to do the nails. So you get taught how to conduct yourself with clients, and with staff, to
Mhm.
like with your fellow therapists. They're looking for people who can do a number of treatments, because then you can be used on a broader sector, in the sense of that you can do not only the facials, that you can also be doing massages, you can also be doing your waxing. Um, they're looking for people who can complete the treatment to a high standard, following all regulations and health and safety requirements within doing the treatment as well. And also how to help run a salon. So I know you do receptional duties, to know how to greet clients, how to sit them down, how you're meant to be with them. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for someone that can just do the treatment. It's more than just being able to complete the treatment. It's confidence, time management, health and safety. Yeah.
Professionalism as well.
Yes, professionalism as well. Sorry,
No,
that
no.
one slipped.
But that's really great, and thank you for sharing those. So, just kind of wrap up this section, in terms of professional development, why is that even important, after gaining an initial qualification? Why is it so important as well to, dip into understanding, even further knowledge as well about your sector especially in the beauty industry as well?
Yeah, so it's very important because the industry is always changing. There's always new treatments that are coming out, new ways of how to do things. Obviously, every therapist will have their way of. Obviously, you get taught how to do it, and then you can also, you put your twist on it. So no massages are completely the same through every therapist, and I know that from experience and from doing it myself. So when you go and do more qualification, like more additional qualifications on top of your beauty qual, you are covered for that as well, because you have your basis initial beauty qualification. So you will gain different techniques, different niches from other brands. So let's say for your facials, you've got Elemis, you've got Talgo, you've got Clarins, you know, being able to do your main qualification and then go out and do additional extra training really does put you ab put you up there above everybody else, because your knowledge never stops. You can never stop learning about the beauty industry. I am still learning to this day, still learning new things, new requirements. There's new things that come out through the government as well. So I know that there's been a recent TPO, or it will be. They won't be manufacturing any products with any TPO in now for nails or anything like that. And it's knowing and understanding the reasoning behind that. And especially when your clients are asking you when they see it on the news. I know there was a big thing about HEMA as well. Um, and you to be able to bring that knowledge to them with confidence as well does really, it really elevates you as a therapist.
That's really great. So, just to kind of close the episode, I just want to ask you a couple more questions just to tie this all into a knot. So, what advice would you give to someone considering a career in beauty therapy, but kind of unsure whether they want to invest in a recognized qualification? What kind of advice would you give them?
My advice would be the quick and easy way is not quick and easy. So when you need to invest in your skills and yourself, you won't regret investing in yourself in your career. You'll find that everyone, when they have a certain career, they have invested within themselves. You definitely, you are more likely to be confident and to feel ready for the industry doing your full qualification, you know. Um, you could end up paying pretty much the same, around the same price for someone giving an accredited course. You could say, yes, it's a 6 weeks, and they could, what it could be is you'll know how to do the treatment, and that's it. There's no other aspects of it. So definitely push yourself, you know, bite the bullet. It's not, it's not 5 years, but it's definitely not a week. And definitely go for it. You've got to invest. You've got to invest within yourself. You know, your clients, you will see a huge comparison in how many clients you will gain and keep. Your returning clients that keep coming back to you because they're there for you and your knowledge, rather than just the treatment that you're giving them, really.
Mhm.
Um and Yeah, definitely invest in yourself. You know, you will sit there and be so grateful that you did that, knowing that you are confident and you do have someone to liaise with as a tutor, like, you know, your tutor when they're teaching you, they're always there for you. You know, you put in the effort for them, they put in the effort for you. They're your best friend. I still liaise with mine to this day. She's honestly, I speak wonders about her, and I would not be how I am to this day within the industry without doing my full proper qualification. Especially definitely with OTHM, it seems like they will be very forthwilling in being there for you throughout every step of the journey. Any questions, they're always there to answer. You know, definitely invest in yourself. You'll find that if you've done just your week's course or just a few other bits and bobs of different aspects of the beauty industry, that you will sit there and you will still want more training. You will
Mhm.
still want to then go and pay and invest in your full qualification. So you may as well do it from the get-go, rather than messing around thinking the easy option, easy way, a week. You know, you might think, oh, I don't have time, you know, because people, I know how this day and age is, we need to work. We need to work to survive. Doing your full proper qualification doesn't mean you can't have a job as well on the sideline of doing that. You still have time to do other things. It's not 5 days a week in the classroom all the time. So you do find that you can still carry on with life.
Absolutely, that's really, really great. So, looking ahead, what kind of skills and qualities do you think future beauty professionals will be in need of most?
Definitely the science behind how everything works. Your clients always have lots of questions on why is this like this? How does this do this? You want to be able to answer that with full confidence within yourself. Um, you'll also be finding that, you know, your consultations, finding out how the client was before they started coming to you. Because with everything changing in the industry, you know, regulations are going to become more tight. You know, you can't go and do nails in America without having a qualification that is globally recognized. And you will find that you may be stuck in one area or stuck just doing family and friends, if not. Um, which obviously you don't want to be. You want to be able to broaden the aspect of what clients you are seeing and who you are seeing, and having the full confidence to be able to do that, whether it be within a salon or self-employed if you are on your own. Mainly competence and professionalism, wearing your uniform, wearing your hair tied up. I see so many therapists these days with their hair down, falling in their face, going all over the client, and no one wants that. You don't want that. They don't want that. You know, you will find that as the industry kind of progresses and moves forward, the clients are starting to recognise people who have been trained properly within their full qualifications of how they look for work, how they speak within to the client, and being able to conversate and make conversation with the clients as well if they want to be talking. And that's really what will set aside you and another therapist as such.
I really like how you touched upon there some of like the key immediate details that not only yourself as a professional, but also clients potentially will be looking out for in terms of immediately recognizing who's gone through the qualifications, who's fully qualified, compared to somebody who isn't. It's like, as you say, putting your hair up. These are the key like kind of details these particular qualifications will provide the knowledge for our therapists in the future. So I really, really like that part that you mentioned about the details there. Just one final question for you. If listeners were to take one message about the value of qualifications from this episode, what would you like that message to be and why?
The values of qualifications are unmatchable when you are given the knowledge and the confidence, the professionalism, the hygiene, the standards. Your standard will be so much higher than anyone who hasn't done their full qualification. You'll notice that you are more confident. Definitely go for it. You'll find you'll push yourself into situations that you might not have felt confident doing beforehand. Definitely take away everything from this, in the sense of, if you are thinking about getting into the industry, you know, do it, because it's not scary. We're all lovely in the beauty industry. We all help each other. We like to liaise with each other over things. You learn things from people, you pick things up along the way. Definitely invest in your full qualification, because you won't regret it. And you will find that your standard will be so much higher, and your professionalism, you'll be a lot more confident with how to conduct yourself around clients and within a salon, and how to do the treatments to a high standard.
I think that's a really, really positive way to end the episode. So thank you so much, Fami, for your time and being on the episode today. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, no, it has. No, thank you for having me again, Tom. It's been lovely to share my knowledge and understanding within the industry with you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you again to our listeners for joining us today. If you are a learner or training centre interested in building a strong foundation in beauty therapy, explore the OTHM Level 3 Diploma in Beauty Therapy, which is designed to support progression into employment, self-employment, and further study within the professional beauty industry. Whether you're just starting your journey or developing your career, remember, in beauty therapy, professionalism begins with education. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we shall see you guys in the next episode.